Hey, so I finally sorted out putting the getting like the home office in a better position. It's still extremely messy to do some progress pictures. This was kind of always the intention because obviously it's quite a big space with a plain white wall and a light above. So this I think gives the pictures the best possible quality. Basically we had a blind put in on the bifold doors so that it doesn't let in the natural light. So yeah, this is obviously like, light directly above, plain-ish kind of background. Still could do with some tidying, but just thought this was probably the best way to kind of capture some really, well, the best looking progress pictures. I can stand back a bit further under a different spotlight, but because I've got my phone, it's quite hard to tell, so I'm standing a bit close. Probably could play around with it a bit more and use that side, but there's another window over there that I haven't put the blind up yet, so it lets in too much light. But yeah, that will be there for hopefully the next video. So what day is it today? Wednesday. Obviously I missed Monday. That was because I was sorting out in here and I wanted to wait to do the videos. So where are we? We are two and a half weeks into the Physique Academy program. Basically, since I've been doing that, I've lost about 1.5 kilos. The goal is in phase 1 to get down to 10% body fat. So I think 10% is kind of defined as visible abs. I mean, yeah, like the top 4, looking pretty good. I'm going to try to find a picture from myself about 8 years ago so you can see where I'm coming from. But I think 8 years ago I was about 105 kilos. Now I'm 74, as of this morning, 74.3. Yeah, this light looks really good, doesn't it? So if you've followed my journey this year, started off December 27th, we were at a wedding and I knew in my mind that was the last day I was going to drink, and I really wanted to take my nutrition seriously. I've trained for years, typically more like heavy lifting style training, so focusing on compound movements. I did do a period of time where I was doing some HIIT training. That was when I was first in Malaysia, and that was to shed a lot of weight that I put on. And I sort of I went to Malaysia in 2015. I went from, I think, about 80, maybe like 90 kilos when I left the UK in 2015, up to about 105 in 2 years, so it's like 2017. Then I started doing more HIIT training, and I came down to, I think, the lowest I got to was about 79 kilos. But doing that sort of training, I lost a lot of muscle mass. I did enjoy it, I think like a lot of running. It was quite fun. I used to do a lot of boxing exercise classes, which was good fun. I moved back to the UK in COVID in 2020. From there, I think like everyone gained a bit of weight, went up to about 90 kg. And then since coming out of COVID, I switched back to more sort of like heavy lifting style. And it was funny because I think when I left the UK in 2015, my bench was about 120. I think squat was 140 for 1 and deadlift was 180. And then when I went back to doing sort of heavy again, my bench was like 80 kgs for 1. So yeah, it's really, it humbles you training like that. Since the last year, where I've really been a lot more serious with my weight training, got the bench up to 117.5. I had a back injury a few years ago, so deadlifts I don't touch, and my squat has gone back to 115. But I feel like anytime I go over 100 kilos, I need to be really careful on my back, so I don't push too heavy, or I do a lot of leg press, because that's no issue on my back at all. And then so from December this year, what was it? So yeah, and then in those COVID years, I sort of was cycling between 85 kilos, maybe down to 80, back up to 85. And that usually was triggered by would have Christmas, then I'll be like, okay, I'll be quite clean for a while. Then it would be summer or Easter, we'd have some family barbecues, you start drinking, you're like, oh, this is fun. And just kept on drinking throughout summer, and then would have a period before Christmas where I'd be like good again, and then Christmas would start and you would kind of have a bit of a blowout. But this year I was kind of fed up of that, so I wanted to make like a drastic change. So yeah, December 27th, I had my last drink, so coming up to 100 days this Sunday. Then for January, I just focused on eating clean. So it's just very much like, kind of grilled meat, some carbs, some salad, but I was never measuring anything. It was just kind of trying to be clean. Then in February, or end of Jan to February, I actually did a keto diet. So the reason why I did that is I just felt like sorry about the flexing, I'm just looking in the camera. So the reason I did the keto diet was mainly because I felt like I needed a kickstart, like something to just change my mindset, have a quick reaction to it, and then lead on to something more healthy and sustainable. So that worked really well for me, I think. So January, I went from like 82.5 kilos down to 80. Then on the keto diet, I went from 80 down to about 75. Then I had a week off where I didn't go wild, but I had more like kind of carbs or refined sugars again. And then I actually took the decision to sign up to the Physique Academy. So that's online fitness coaching platform that's like ran by George Armstrong. The reason why I chose that is just because I thought like I kind of liked, I guess, might be the no nonsense approach, and felt like maybe that's what I need to really make those lasting changes. And yeah, I've been doing that for 2.5 weeks. I've lost 1.5 kilos, or maybe close to 2 kilos now. Definitely what I've noticed is the top 4 abdominals becoming more defined. My arms, shoulders are as well, just by losing that extra few kilos. The purpose of this current part of the training program is to get down to 10%. As you can see, like if I feel round here, I think I don't know if I even would have a 6-pack, because like kind of the tendons on the lower abdominals aren't particularly well defined, whereas up here they kind of clearly are. So potentially I won't get a 6-pack, it would just be a nice 4-pack. But I've obviously got this bit of fat that comes kind of round here to kind of shed. So yeah, like I said, I'm at 74.3 kilos as of this morning. I think that if I get down to kind of 69 kilos, about 5 kilos, that should be the final 10%. I would say, yeah, at least 15% here. At worst 15% here, sorry. Just kind of this little bit around here needs to go. How am I finding it so far? So basically, the plan is essentially like a gram of protein per kilo of body weight, or 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. A certain amount of carbs and a certain amount of fat, and you have a few different sort of meal plans that you can cycle between. But it's essentially like, just to give a breakdown of what I've had today: a bowl of porridge, banana, some peanut butter, a protein shake, a grenade bar. Then for lunch I had 200 grams of chicken in a tortilla wrap, and for dinner I'll have 200 grams of steak with some like asparagus and broccoli, and then some fat-free high protein yogurt. So for me, I think because I've been in this mindset since December of being hyper focused, I'm just basically having the same thing every day. For some people that might be quite boring, especially if you're like starting out. But I think if you're kind of like on a journey and you you're committed and you want to have results in a short period of time, it's probably the easiest thing to do, because your shopping basket looks the same. If you can marinate the meat differently, but it's just very easy to stay on track. Monday to Sunday, I eat the same food. You do that for however long you need to go. So I think maybe another like 4 weeks, hopefully, and then I will be off that plan. Your calories will then increase again and you'll be able to eat more. So far I'm having 1,800 calories a day. I don't know what phase 2 is, basically then where you increase your calorie intake. I don't know how or what the measurements will be. We haven't discussed that yet. Obviously, we'll discuss that in the future. But yeah, so far this is working really well for me. Potentially as we get closer to that 69 kilos, the amount of carbs may have to drop down, but so far the kind of weight loss has been, steady. So yeah, that's just my sort of 2-week update on how things are going. Trying to do some posing there. Feeling good. I think, looking quite good. Little bit to go, especially around here. A few other areas where I guess there's that little bit of extra fat that will come away as we go down to 10%. But overall, yeah, really happy with how I'm looking and feeling. In my mind, am I having cravings? I am, I'll be honest. I think probably why is because when I did the keto diet, I had 1 week off before starting this new plan. And in that week off, I still was taking the nutrition quite seriously. I didn't have any blowouts. I, ate very low amount of carbs to avoid having any sort of negative impact of eating carbs again. So for some reason in my mind, I'm okay, the craving I have is for a Five Guys burger. So potentially what I'll do is with my coach, when I get to the end of phase 1, is work out a meal plan day for where I can have that, and maybe some, maybe a dessert, a tiramisu or a big cheesecake. I don't know, but every now and then that comes into my mind. So you can see the bottom, no, that's those ones. So yeah, my updates now will be more like this, or less of me standing here posing and talking. But yeah, I thought this was a good way or a better way to show progress pictures. It's what I'm going to use from now on. Please subscribe if you want to keep hearing about the journey. And yeah, please ask any questions in the comments section. Have a good week, and I will post my next update video in regards to the Physique Academy program sometime over the weekend. My usual schedule was meant to be Monday and Friday, but obviously this week is a bit messed up, posting on Wednesday, so I don't want to do just a rubbish update on Friday, or maybe I will, who knows, just so then I can get back on track to the Monday ones. But yeah, overall feeling good. I think I'm looking good. So yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Bye.